Hello everyone, and welcome back to another very thrilling episode of every animated movie of the year. And today we checked out Finding Dory. So for today's video, we are throwing to the list at the start and placing Finding Dory in the third spot below Kung Fu Panda 3. Yeah, I knew right when I took one step out of the theater that I was about to be destroyed in the comments for this placement. But honestly, I just gotta stick with what I think, even if it's not the popular opinion, because if I just regurgitate Rotten Tomatoes, well, why even watch this video series, right? But let's step back a bit and have some perspective. I really liked Angry Birds, and I put Finding Dory above it because I actually did really like the movie. So let's talk about the movie and what I really liked about it. Now, you guys don't know this, but I've always been grilled for my opinions on Finding Nemo. It's always been low on my list of Pixar films, and yet every person I've asked, it seems to be among their favorites. So going into Finding Dory, I didn't have many expectations, so I did actually end up liking it more than the original. So in this movie, after they've found Nemo, Dory is reminded of her family. And though she does have her family in Nemo and Marlin, she is longing to find her birth parents. So in this movie, she tries her darndest to find them, and Nemo and Marlin try to find her as she tries to find them. And that's basically the plot. Now, there are two things about this movie that really set it a cut above, in my opinion. The first thing is Dory, and addressing her memory loss. In Finding Nemo, her bad memory is kind of a cute little character quirk, but in this movie it is fully tragic. Of course, it calls to mind Alzheimer's and dementia, which of course really strikes close to home, I'm sure, for many. It's just awful to imagine anyone forgetting their loved ones, and this focus of the film really brings a lot of intense and emotional moments. I mean, a lot. The second thing that makes this movie, in my opinion, is Ed O'Neill and his octopus character, Hank. In fact, I commend the movie for being so centralized around the relationship between Dory and Hank. I think it was like the gem of the movie. Hank, of course, is an octopus that Dory meets when she's taken by the marine biologist Park. This character of Hank is so important to the movie that I truly worry what it would have been without him. Not only does Modern Family and Married with Children's Ed O'Neill bring an amazing sort of aggravated but lovable humanity to the character, but the animators did a top-notch job of making creative choices with him using his camouflage. I mean, this octopus is everywhere, blending in with everything, and it was hilarious and ingenious and so much fun to watch. Normally, I avoid 3D whenever possible, but I thought somehow that Finding Nemo would be a good one for 3D because of the deep ocean environments and all of that stuff, but no, pretty much it's the same as just seeing it normally, but more expensive. Now, I did recently just learn that there are two types of 3D animated movies. One of those types just kind of gives the image more depth. It's like you're seeing into the screen. The other kind is like the 3D poking out at you kind of thing, where it's like real depth. Like you can see stuff way back in the distance, and there's things like right in your face. You're reaching your hand out to see if those things are actually there. And every movie that I've reviewed so far is kind of just the depth in the screen kind of thing. And that's basically a very cheap way to make a 3D movie. But there was a preview in this Finding Dory movie that blew my mind. I was like, holy crap, this is 3D. And it's this movie called The Wildlife. I know nothing about it at all. It's the first time I've seen this trailer. It's like a Robinson Crusoe lands on an island, bunch of animals. It doesn't matter. The point is, this is a movie made with like the true 3D thing. Like you could see stuff way deep into the background, and there's like guns and beaks and stuff pointing like you in the face. The point I'm making here is, if you decide to shell out that little bit of extra money this year at the theater, make it on The Wildlife, because that is probably the one movie that's going to have a real 3D experience, whereas all these others are kind of just like, the movie has a little bit of extra depth to it, and that's really not worth the price bump. But that has nothing to do with Finding Dory, so let's get back to that. So here's the deal. This is totally a personal taste thing, but I found Dory kind of annoying in Finding Nemo, and in this movie I felt the same way. There's so many times where you just want to shake her, and this all gets a teeny bit frustrating to me in both movies, actually, more so in this one. Now, it pretty much goes without saying that the animation is out of this world. I talked about the water looking amazing in Angry Birds, but the water in this, holy cow! I mean, this stuff looks real. It looks like they're using footage of real water, but interacting the animated characters somehow. It's spectacular. It's second to none. And speaking of amazing water, the short before, Piper, I believe it was called, was outstanding. One of my favorite Pixar shorts to date. I truly love that one. So much emotion with just chirps and music, and of course the water looks spectacular yet again. I remember watching the DVD commentary for the original Shrek movie, and they said the hardest thing to animate was the milk. At the time it was like liquids were very, very hard to nail down for the software. But as of now, they have it seriously figured out because water in these movies lately is looking so amazing. In Finding Nemo, one of the trademark features of the movie is how they venture along meeting all of these fascinating characters. It's kind of like a road trip movie in that way. And in Finding Dory, it's exactly the same way. But to me, it just felt like there was too much time spent meeting other random characters, meeting seals and clams and lawn-mowing crabs and this whale and that whale. And to me, it kind of sacrificed time with Nemo and Marlin, who I would have liked to spend more time with personally, considering they are the main characters of the first film. When I left the theater for Kung Fu Panda 3, I saw a little kid talking to his dad, jumping up and down, doing kung fu moves, talking about that scene with Kai and the swingy things, or, oh, when Po and his dad taught the other pandas, and all of this, and it went on and on. I saw this herd of kids leaving the theater after I saw Finding Dory, and sheer silence. They were just walking out blankly. I honestly think they were tired or put to sleep by the movie, or maybe just sad. I don't know, but I kind of felt the same exact way. Now, of course, 10-year-old kids aren't the litmus test for movies, but I mean, like me, for anyone who's known someone in their older years whose mind has begun to slip a bit, this is going to be hauntingly poignant. I don't know, I just don't feel it had as full of a package as the top two entries. And if you disagree, that's just fine. We all wanted every animated movie of the year to get interesting, and now it has. I'll see you guys on the next jaw-dropping episode of every animated movie of the year.